What's up guys, Lon here from Android Authority, and I'm coming to you live from Computex 2016, and we're taking a look at the Zenfone 3 lineup announced here by ASUS, and there's 3 different devices in this lineup. So you have the regular Zenfone 3, the Zenfone 3 Deluxe, and the Zenfone 3 Ultra. Let's start off with the regular Zenfone 3. So design-wise, it's made of a glass and metal construction. So you have glass on the front, glass on the rear, and a metal frame that wraps around the sides. And it feels extremely solid in the hand, and it looks pretty awesome too. On the front of the phone, it has a 5.5-inch 1080p IPS LCD display with a PPI of 401, and it's made of Gorilla Glass 3. Internally, you're looking at a Snapdragon 625, Adreno 506, 3 GB of RAM on the 32 GB version, or 4 GB of RAM on the 64 GB version. On the back side, you have a 16 megapixel Sony IMX298 camera with an aperture of f2.0, and it does have laser and phase detection autofocus. It also has optical image stabilization and a dual LED flash. On the front, there's an 8 megapixel camera, and inside it also has 24-bit audio. And then along the bottom of the phone, you have your USB Type-C port, your power button on the right side, 3.5mm headphone jack on the top, and on the back side, there's also a fingerprint reader. Inside the phone, there's also a 3000 milliamp hour battery, and it comes in sapphire black, moonlight white, and shimmer gold as the color options. Next up is the Zenfone 3 Deluxe, and this one is the flagship out of the bunch. So it has an all-metal design, and the interesting thing about the design of the Zenfone 3, besides being a metal unibody, is that it doesn't have any antenna lines running across the backside. It is the first all-metal unibody phone that does not have antenna lines running across the back like you would find with other metal flagships. On the front of the phone is a 5.7-inch 1080p Super AMOLED display with a PPI of 386, and it's all protected in Gorilla Glass 4. And so far, it looks pretty good. It's very vibrant, very punchy, and has really nice viewing angles as well. Internally, it's packing a Snapdragon 820 processor with the Adreno 530, and comes in either 64, 128, or 256 gigabytes of internal storage, and will either come with 4 gigabytes of RAM or a whopping 6 gigabytes of RAM. On the back of the phone is a 23 megapixel Sony IMX318 camera with f2.0 aperture, laser and phase detection autofocus, and it also comes with optical image stabilization and dual LED flash. There's an 8 megapixel camera on the front. It also has 24-bit audio just like the regular Zenfone 3. There's USB Type-C on the bottom, the power button is on the side, and the headphone jack is up top. And then along the front you have the standard capacitive keys, and just like the regular Zenfone 3, it also has a fingerprint sensor on the backside below the camera. Inside is also a 3000 milliamp hour battery, which also supports Quick Charge 3.0, and this one comes in Glacier Silver, Titanium Gray, Shimmer Gold, and it'll start at $499 for the 64 gigabyte model. And lastly, we have the Zenfone 3 Ultra, and this one is the biggest one out of the bunch. It still has an all-metal build just like the Zenfone 3 Deluxe, but it has a huge 6.8-inch 1080p display on the front, which makes this a very big phone, and it's almost tablet territory. But the nice thing about the Zenfone 3 Ultra is that it has TV-grade dual speakers on the bottom and DTS headphone 7.1 surround sound if you really want high-quality audio. Inside is a Snapdragon 652 processor, the Adreno 510, and it comes with 32, 64, or 128 gigabytes of internal storage, and either 3 or 4 gigabytes of RAM depending on the model. On the back, it has the same 23 megapixel Sony sensor as the Zenfone 3 Deluxe, but instead of having the fingerprint sensor on the backside like the regular Zenfone 3 and the Deluxe model, you actually have the volume rockers on the back, and the fingerprint sensor is actually on the front embedded in the home button. The rest of the specs are pretty much identical to the other 2 Zenphones, so you have an 8 megapixel camera on the front, 24-bit audio support, and USB Type-C on the bottom, and inside is a massive 4600 milliamp hour battery, so you should get pretty solid battery life with this phone. They're all running on Android 6.0 Marshmallow with Zen UI 3.0 on top, and it's a pretty familiar experience to previous Zenfone devices. There are a few new features like the Zen Life application, which is basically a news reader, and it puts a floating bubble on your home screen that you can move around and place wherever you want. pricing starts at $249 for the regular Zenfone 3, $499 for the Zenfone 3 Deluxe, and $479 for the Zenfone 3 Ultra. So they're all very affordable smartphones. But for more information on the Zenfone 3, make sure to check out the written post at AndroidAuthority.com. But that's going to do it for this quick hands-on of the Zenfone 3 here at Computex. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel, which is also down below, and stay tuned for the rest of our Computex coverage. And keep it tuned here to Android Authority, because we are your source for all things Android.